Well, I think we're ready to go here. Yeah, there we are. We're up on Facebook. Hello, everybody. It's our Monday show. God, there aren't very many people waiting. Oh, this is unusual. And I wasn't even going to do my. I was going to almost cancel this today because my back is killing me, but it's not. So I'm going to try and get through it. Okay. But there are only like 4 people waiting. This is amazing. This is oh, now there's more. Okay. Let me see here. Let me just bring these people in, admit all. There we go. Here they come. Here's Marjorie, and there's Charlene Solis, and there's Len LaFrisco, and there is Vernon Nunn, as I said. Let me see here. And also Edward Berger.
That's right.
That's right. Okay. Hi, Edward. How are you?
Good.
Okay, great. Great. Yeah, not a lot of people today. I don't know why, but is there some kind of sports event going on out there or anything I don't know about?
You're the one with the sports. I mean,
Oh
we don't
yeah,
know.
right. Oh, I have no idea. It's a fraudulent Emmy, so they gave it to me. What am I going to say? No.
Right. Emmy award-winning Alex Bennett.
The only thing I would say no to is an invite from Donald Trump to have me have a lunch at the White House. I would turn that down. Although there are people in my business who don't turn it down.
Have you heard of the latest bullshit that going on at the FDA?
At the FDA?
Yeah, Dr. Peter Marks, who was in charge of vaccines, approval of vaccines.
Oh, they got rid of him. Yeah.
He was given the choice to either resign or be fired because he wouldn't go along with RFK Jr.'s bullshit, misinformation.
But RFK Jr.
This is the same guy that saved Trump's life when he got COVID, because he gave personal approval for the monoclonal antibodies to be given to Trump, and that saved his life.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't know that about him, but
then he deserves to be fired.
But I do know that RFK Jr. now has recommended vaccinations for measles.
Yeah, after how many kids have died?
Yeah, after a couple of kids died from what did he say was the thing you could
vitamin
do?
A. Huh? Vitamin A. Give them lots of vitamin A.
A lot of vitamin A. Yeah.
Until their livers crap out.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm sitting here, and I'm okay, but I have had real back pain, and it's been caused by, among other things, nothing. Because we went to the doctor the other day and did an X-ray, and he said, "Oh, your back's got a few problems, because you're an old guy." But he said, "It's nothing. You probably pulled something." But the thing still keeps bothering me if I sit too long,
Huh.
So I've really cushioned this chair here with a pillow, and I'm hoping that will help. But if at any point I get to be hurting too much and have to stand up or whatever, and maybe go away for a moment, I'll let you guys talk to each other. Okay.
I have an idea for you, Alex. I have an idea.
What?
Go see Marjorie's chiropractor.
He won't go.
Yeah.
I went to her chiropractor. I was told by a doctor once who I had on my show. He was a very good doctor. He was a very good doctor, and he'd written a lot of books on medicine and so on and so forth. And he said, if you go to a doctor and after the first visit you don't feel marginally better, then don't go back to him. He said, because most doctors can clear up a problem. Well, here come a whole bunch of people. Doctors can clear up a whole bunch of problems on the first visit. And if you don't go away feeling better, then don't go back. Find another doctor. And I found that to be true with the chiropractor. I went to him. He did some stuff. Nothing happened. Nothing. I didn't walk away feeling better. And so I never went back. And that's my what can I call it?
Testimonial.
touchstone for deciding whether I like a doctor or not. Okay, so it's the T-shirt of the week. What is it? What is it, Charlie?
It says you matter unless you multiply yourself by the speed of light twice, and then you energy.
And then your energy.
That's great. What's this? What's this? I just got something in my watch.
That's a good one.
Orthopedic care provided. Share what? What is it? What am I? I was just talking about something, and it says orthopedic care comes up.
Yeah.
God,
Seems about right.
I'm
Echo's listening. Echo's listening.
Echo is listening. Hello, Jeff. How are you, Paul?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm
Yeah.
not quite sure how to help you with that.
I shut up. I didn't
I
say.
had the opportunity to get injected today.
Oh, really? Injected with what?
My ankle.
Your ankle? Oh, you got a cortisone shot.
Yeah.
Well, say hello to Marjorie, who is 90% cortisone.
And the Jet Club.
You know, it seems as though that's kind of almost a miracle drug, isn't it?
Guess so.
I mean, I've gotten it like for arthritis in the hand, and it goes away for about 6 months. You know, and then I get another shot, and it goes away for another 6 months. And I was hoping he was going to give me some kind of shot in my back or whatever, but nothing. Didn't give me anything, Marjorie.
What can I tell you,
My
Alan?
my other touchstone is if the doctor doesn't give you really fun drugs, then don't go back to him. You know, he's got that little pad. He can just write out a prescription for anything, right?
Except chiropractors.
And I told him Marjorie's drug, which is, I don't know, some kind of hydromorphine.
You're
or
not
something.
allowed to have any.
Well, I have a couple of them here. But she gave me the drug the other day. She has a drug for her back. And I said, let me try it. Let me just see if it'll help. And I took a half a dose. I didn't take the full dose because I'm a pussy. And I took the half a dose, and it made me feel better.
Yeah. That's why you can't have it.
That's why Marjorie won't give it to me, because it made me feel good. You like to see me suffer, dear?
No comment.
No
All
comment.
you're doing is treating the symptom and not the cause. So that doesn't really help.
Well, the cause, he didn't fix the cause at all. He just said you probably pulled something, and give it a week, it'll go away. And it's just keeps. Some days it's better, some days it's worse. You know. So
Amazon sells this compression belt that has a gel that you can put in your freezer, and you put the gel in the belt before you wrap it around your waist, and it puts a real icy cold pad right on your lower back. My wife uses that.
Yeah, well, I've used the ice packs before, but I tried ice and I tried heat, and neither worked. So it's just God saying, "I want you to be in pain."
But he loves you.
God loves me. Yes. God, I don't know if I wonder, does he love me? If there is a God, does he love me? I guess so. Because God is supposed to be forgiving, but he's never proved that. How many plagues did he bring upon people in Egypt and so on? I
love George Carlin's description of whether there's a God or not. It's hilarious.
Well, let me just do a little survey here.
Wait. What did he say, Vernon?
I don't have, it's on YouTube, but basically he's talking about, people who proselytize and talk about, you got to be good or you're going to hell. And
there's a man in the sky.
Be good, and you take care of the poor people, or you're going to hell. But he loves you.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, somebody said to me, "You don't believe in God?" And I said, "Nah, I don't think so. I don't believe so." And they said, "Well, what happens if you die and you go to some place, and then they decide where you're going to go and stuff like that?" And I said, "God will forgive me." Because he's a forgiving God, isn't he?
That's what they say.
Yeah. What, Charlie?
Yeah, I was gonna say, as a scientist, I'm always willing to reassess a situation upon new data.
I
So what
totally agree with you, Charlie.
Okay, so what does your data say about God?
So far, I have no data to indicate that there's any such thing.
That's it.
Or that he even exists.
Yeah.
Charlie, I've always had this thought, and since you're a scientist and I love science stuff, I agree with you 100% all the way back to the beginning. Where did this come from? That's the only thing I can't explain
Well,
scientifically.
no, that's all scientific.
The Big Bang. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Charlie
but
will
what
tell
was
you.
there before the Big Bang?
Nothing.
You know,
It just
I'll
blew
tell
up.
you something. I often said that if you take anything and you say, "How does this work?" and you go, "Well," and then how does that work? And you be like a little kid, keep asking, "What's next?" You know, well, if that's that, what is that? You know, eventually you will get to an answer where you say, "I just don't know the answer," and that is what we attribute to God.
There's 1,000 religions on this planet, and so either they're all wrong or one of them is right.
Well, I think all religions have been started by hustlers trying to make a buck. To be
Trying
honest
to
with
keep
you.
the populace down,
Yeah.
of course.
I
Yeah.
have
The
a great,
finger
I
on the
have,
pu-
I
Huh?
have a great quote.
Yeah.
It's deep. It's a great quote.
Okay.
God is the name of the blanket we put over the mystery to give it a shape.
Good way of
I like
putting it. Yeah.
I like that.
I often just said God is the answer to things we don't have the answer to.
It's another way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It means I
That's
don't
good.
know, basically.
Well, let me just ask for you know, how many here believe in God?
That's not
Okay.
a good question, okay? You know, because
Yeah.
everybody has a different idea of what that is.
Well, my question then would be, what do you believe in? Let's ask Edward. What do you believe in, Edward?
I never really thought about it.
I believe I'll have another cocktail.
I mean,
That.
what? Let's see. What is this? It just came. Breaking news: Chief Justice John Roberts temporarily blocked the judge's order
no.
directing the U.S. to return the Salvadorian.
Oh
Oh.
no!
Oh, my
no!
You got to be kidding me right now.
Oh
Our country's
boy!
over.
You know, I mean, here's this guy down in this hellhole of a prison. They describe this prison. One of the guys who runs it says the only way anybody leaves this prison is in a box. You know, and what this guy is an American. You know, he has American. I guess he have a green card, or is he a citizen? I can't remember. But nevertheless, he shouldn't have been rounded up. There are probably several other people that shouldn't have been rounded up too. You know, so. Oh, well. Okay.
Where did that come from?
What?
That you just read? Where?
Oh, you got it off my watch. It's a headline. I get headlines
It
on my
must have
watch.
just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Comes across on my
Yeah.
watch. This
God has lots of movies.
Huh?
Lots of movies.
I just
Yeah.
got it off the New York
Stuff on
Times.
TV.
Yeah.
He's a big, great producer.
Okay. What
I
were you gonna-
agree.
what did somebody say about my? Did somebody say something about my watch? You know.
No.
Oh, I just got that same alert that you got on your watch from the New York Times.
Yeah. So anyway, it's I give up. I'm so frustrated about all of that. You know, why even worry about it? Oh, by the way, how many here don't have as much money as they had last week?
Everybody.
Everybody.
I mean, that is the part that really gets to me. You know, is how you can make a decision like this, which will impact the stock market. Okay, which all of us, I think, are probably you're in the stock market, right, Jeff? In some way.
I am.
How about you, Charlie?
No, I'm not.
Why not?
I don't have any money.
Don't have any money. Okay, well,
I'm going over to your house. I went onto the mattress.
then you're probably right now richer than the rest of us.
Yeah.
Except the price of everything's going up now.
Yeah, Paula,
What?
you're in the stock market, right?
Yeah, I have not personally, but yeah, some, not much.
Wait a minute,
But
not personally,
whatever
but
I
yeah,
had,
some.
it's not there anymore.
Oh, it's not there anymore. Yeah. Well, it's still there. It's just not as much as it used to be. And it's not any better today. Today it was just going crazy, going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. I was getting dizzy watching it. I just turned it off. You know. And of course, Marjorie is invested in the stock market with me, right, Marjorie?
But
Oh boy.
Do you smoke a joint before we go on
No.
here? Oh, okay.
Hello, McFly.
We should.
Today it wouldn't be a bad idea, honestly.
Yeah, no, it really,
That's how
I mean, the
cope.
courts.
I think at my age it's a good time to start heroin. You know,
Your back will feel better.
the back will feel better, right? See, Marjorie, I've got my own drug I can get. I just got to find some teenager who knows where I can find it. How about you, Len? You invested, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking at my numbers right here. I'm down substantially, but not as bad as the market because I'm well insulated. I'm very
Well,
well
I have
diversified.
some guy who did my stuff for me that I don't even know where he is. I don't know how to find my money any longer.
Yeah.
But my business manager turned me on to this guy, and this guy supposedly knows how to manipulate and do things like that. So I don't know how much I've lost, but I asked my business manager if I lost a lot, and he said, no, you got enough to take care of you for the rest of your life. Yeah. So I can take that up and down a bit, but so can Marjorie because she's invested in the same thing. How about you? Are you in the stock market, Vernon?
Only indirectly. My wife has an IRA that is basically divided up over 10 different mutual funds, and some are more risky than others, and some are more conservative than others. But my attitude is, unless I need it today, I don't care.
Yeah.
It'll come back after Trump's out of office.
Well, you think, well, will I be alive that long? That's the problem with me.
Well, he's supposed to die the 12th, right?
What?
Only got 3.5 years and he'll be out.
No, The Simpsons says he's dying on April 12th, and so
Good.
they've been right. They've been right on a lot of stuff over the years.
Who said that?
The Simpsons. They had an episode years ago who showed him dead laying in a coffin, and the date was April 12th, 2025.
Well, let's see. We've got a couple of days, huh?
That'd be a hell of a birthday present for my son.
They've gotten a lot of stuff right, so.
Yeah. Today is my friend Lori Thompson's birthday.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, she's still not doing the show because she's still trying to overcome all the time she spent doing what do you call it? Chemo and radiation and so on. And I haven't heard from her. We were supposed to do something last week, and then I haven't heard from her. So I hope she's okay.
Oh, yeah, me too.
She lives in Florida, and she's going to doctors in Florida, and I wish she were in New York, because if she were here, her chances of surviving something like that, I think, are a lot better.
What kind of cancer?
It kind of was a lump on her neck, and it was cancerous. But
Wow.
I've heard that they can use the seeds on something in your neck. And, here in New York, they would try something that was more conservative, that didn't completely wipe you out. But down there, in buttfuck Florida, how are they going to solve the problem? Radiation and chemotherapy. And I think there's going to be a time in the future where we're going to look back at these days and say, that stuff was archaic. That was a dumb way to try and solve the problem. So, but I feel so bad that she's had to go through all of this. Yeah. I don't want to depress everybody.
She's a sweetheart. I always liked her.
Yes. Oh, I love her.
Yeah, I love her too. I love her too. And I constantly think about her. So anyway, let me see here. What else is there? Is there anybody seen anything good? Because
The resident,
Oh,
the
Yes,
residence is really
Yeah.
good.
absolutely. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it totally.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a birder, the people that are bird watchers are like bananas over the show,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
they should be.
Yeah.
I watched Reacher season 3.
I'm sure Reacher season 3 was good. It was really quite good, actually. Better than like the second year.
I didn't think the actor was all that great in the first couple of them, but he actually showed some acting chops in this one.
This guy, yeah. I think this guy, I can't remember his name right now.
Alan Richson.
Could possibly replace Arnold Schwarzenegger in those kind of pictures. He's a big, bulky guy, big muscles and all that, but he can act too. And he does a very good job. We, of course, Marjorie loves, and I love The Resident. Not The Resident.
exactly.
What was it? Now I'm trying to remember the name of it. I just threw myself off here. What is it you like? Adolescence.
That was good. I like that too.
It was brilliant. Brilliant.
Adolescence may be one of the best TV shows ever done.
Ever.
It really. If you haven't seen it, it's on. Where is it on?
Netflix.
Is it Netflix? Yeah.
Yeah.
It has 4 episodes, hour each, all done with one camera constantly moving.
Wow.
And it is, it's wonderful, wonderfully acted, wonderfully directed. I mean,
The subject matter sounds depressing, though. Is it depressing?
No.
Yes and no. I mean, it doesn't have a happy ending, but that's not what it's about. You have to watch it. It's not. You won't get depressed from it. Okay.
It's about a kid who committed a murder, is all I know.
Yes, about a kid who's
Why would you wanna watch it?
accused of committing a murder.
Okay.
Yeah, and it takes in a whole bunch of things, including indicting the internet for influencing this kid. So it's a really good show. And then we just got through last night, and I can't get it out of my head. I watched the last episode of 2023 or 1923.
1923.
Yeah. Anybody watch it at all? Oh man, it's a great series with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. And in the whole show, the whole 2 seasons, these 2 people are trying to get back to Montana from Africa, oddly enough. And it's just, the last episode was just so compelling. It's part of that whole Yellowstone mythology that Taylor Sheridan has created. And it was really terrific. It was one of the better TV shows I've seen this year. And Helen Mirren is just a gem. And I don't know what day Harrison Ford woke up and said, I think I can act. Because he can. And he did a very nice job of it in this thing. So just suggesting that, it's amazing how many people that were not watching 1923. And it's a great show.
There's too many shows out there.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's a follow-up. It's a follow-up to 1883, I think. Was it 1883 or 1886? I can't remember.
I think it's 1883.
Yeah, and now they're going to do another one called 1944. So it's all about this ranch, and about the history of this ranch, and it's really wonderful. And in this, the current iteration of it, Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren are just incredible. She's terrific because Helen Mirren, it's on Paramount Plus, And so you got Helen Mirren playing this, what can we call it, this prairie wife, this grizzled, well-heeled prairie wife. They own a ranch together, and all of that, and all this, the wolves you got to kill, and the everything, and she's just a very tough breed of woman. And Harrison Ford is her husband, and they both own this ranch, which is the Yellowstone, because it's all part of that history. And they just knock it out of the ballpark. And he's terrific. I think what happens is an actor gets freed when he gets old. What happens is until he gets old, he's taking all the parts that make him money. So Harrison Ford had to do all these adventure things and so on and so forth. And now, in his later years, he's got to get out and act. And he's doing a beautiful job of it. This show Shrinking, which is on Apple that he did, in which he plays a psychiatrist. He's terrific.
I thought he was great in Air Force One.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, but that was one of the other kind of movies he took, Yeah. But now he can take the roles where he's really expected to act, and he shows up, very good.
I've been enjoying, remember Northern Exposure?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's on Amazon, and I've been totally enjoying it. What a good show that was.
That was a very good show. But you know what happens is it's so long ago that you begin to forget it. When people say, what are some of the best TV shows you ever watched? That would not come up on my list, even though it was probably at the time would have been on my list. It was a very good show. Did you ever watch it, Marjorie, Northern Exposure?
I think so.
Yeah,
it's about a Jewish doctor who gets through a series of accidents. He has to work in Alaska, and it's all these characters in Alaska, and it's really fun. And the characters are wonderful. The writing is great. It's a very enjoyable
It
show.
only lasted, what, about 2 seasons, 3 seasons?
No, I think it's even more than that.
Really?
I think it was like 4 or 5. Yeah.
Really, that many? Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And then what else is on? There's nothing. What else are we watching, Marjorie? Oh, we're watching
Mob.
what's the
Mob.
drug?
Mobland. Yeah.
Mobland.
Mobland, which, that's the fun part about it is that's on the same channel, which is, of course, Paramount Plus, that Helen Mirren was doing 1923. She's now a mob wife in Mobland. And to see that woman go from one role to another is just amazing,
Can't remember the name of the movie, but if you've ever seen early movies of her, she was a total knockout as well as being.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. She was
in a kind of strange way. She's still a knockout.
She is.
She
is.
Amen.
6 seasons for Northern Exposure.
Really?
Yep.
I think I only watched 2 or 3, and then I kind of went to something else, I guess, But Helen Mirren's just a real treasure. And, good looking old lady, and she.
Oh, you ever see the movie Calendar Girls? Yeah, she was just fantastic.
Oh no, in her early years, she was really hot, There was one other that was really hot too, British actress. I'm trying to remember her name now, because she even used a rather childish name as she got older. Judi Dench.
Oh, yeah.
Judi Dench, Judi, and she was like this hot movie actress.
Really?
Yeah. The very beginning, she's always been terrific.
I remember she made a great Queen Elizabeth in Shakespeare in Love.
Yeah, she won for Best Supporting Actress for a part that only lasted, I think, 2 minutes.
Right.
In the movie. But, that was Harvey Weinstein. He could get you an Oscar for, just showing up.
If you fuck them.
Well, at that age, I don't think he wanted to have sex with Judi Dench, but you know.
He would have 40 years ago.
What?
So he would have 40 years ago.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, that was the rumor about Gwyneth Paltrow and how she got her Oscar.
Yeah, well, a lot of people question that one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he did push for her to get the Oscar. He was a guy who knew how to manipulate the Oscars and do the advertising and pay off the right people and do all of that. So, you know, and then you've got people like Gwyneth Paltrow, who he got the Oscar for, and I'm sure she had some kind of nefarious relationship with him in order to get him to put her in his movies. And she was the first one to come out against him when all these things happened. And she really, I don't think, should have. She should have just kept her mouth shut and said, you know, well, you got me an Oscar and gave me a career for the rest of my life, you know. So anyway.
He should have run for president, Harvey Weinstein. He has all the qualifications.
He has all the qualifications. Yeah. And he probably would have been a better president.
Yeah.
A smarter one.
Well, we're only questioning the way he handled himself, okay? We didn't question whether he was a good businessman or not, which he obviously was. And he, you know, produced a lot of films that won a lot of Oscars. And, you know, nobody seems to want to remember that. And, you know, the guy I feel kind of sorry for. We were watching a two-part documentary on Woody Allen.
Very good.
Yeah, what a shame that is, huh? You know, they never proved any of the allegations against him. In fact, they were disproven on a number of occasions by, you know, law enforcement who checked into all these allegations and said they blatantly were not true. And yet nobody will back his movies anymore. Nobody wants to be in them anymore.
Scarlett Johansson said she will always be in his movies.
Really? Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Well, in this documentary, she says that she's never had more fun than working in one of his films, you know. And a lot of the films she was in weren't, you know, comedies or anything like that. Match Point certainly wasn't a comedy, you know, but she swears by him. And I think that's wonderful when people stick by somebody.
She stayed by his side during all the bad stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I can hear you from the other room because the door is open a little bit. When you talk really loud, I can hear you.
I won't talk loud anymore.
Don't worry. You can talk as loud as you want to.
Yes.
You're my wife. You have the right to. Despite the fact you won't give me any pain pill. You're selfish. You know. She's got the good stuff. What is that? Hydromorphine? Is that what you're taking?
I'm not saying anything, Alex.
Too bad. So, Paula, how have you been doing out there in Ohio?
Okay, this morning was interesting because when I woke up, you know, all the trees and lilacs and everything are coming out, but there was snow on the trees and on the rooftops. Snow.
Oh,
Snow?
It's April, what, April 7th?
Yeah, there shouldn't be any snow.
It was 42 degrees in Austin last night.
Wow.
In April.
Wow.
I think we should fire the groundhog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the groundhog was obviously wrong. Wow, that's terrible. We're right now, our temperature here is 44 degrees.
Really? Wow.
Actually, 42 degrees according to my Alexa here. Yeah. Yeah.
On the other hand, we don't get any tornadoes, so I guess we should be happy about that.
Oh, no tornadoes. That's really nice.
We had an EF1 in Jefferson County last week.
Now, Marjorie was asking me about that the other day, and I couldn't, you know,
How high do they go?
Tell her. Yeah, what is it? What F1?
EF1 is the lowest. It's the lowest confirmed tornado is an EF1.
It's like if somebody sneezes, that's an F1.
EF1 is winds in excess of 90 miles an hour. And they had enough damage down in the southern part of the county that they said it was probably an EF1 tornado that caused it.
Okay, but then you get to what? EF2?
How about the others?
EF2, I think you get up to like 110 miles per hour, and it goes on up from there. 150 miles per hour is an EF5. That'll definitely take everything and throw it away.
What you should do if an EF5 hits is turn over and kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you been in one that windy? No. What's the worst?
I'm not suffering from the floods either, even though there are flash floods going on all around me. I sit up on a nice hill looking north, and I just watch the creek go by, and don't need a rowboat or anything.
What do you do? Look down at everybody else and laugh?
No, I'm not that cruel.
Oh, okay. But you're up on a hill, so you don't get affected by a lot of this.
Flash flooding doesn't affect me.
Wow. But you can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it on the other side of Lexington Road. There's a park, that Cherokee Park, and it usually gets closed down when flooding occurs because Beargrass Creek runs right through Cherokee Park, and it usually overflows its banks.
I used to live, of course, in Marin County, which, if anybody's here from California, they knew where I'm talking about. I guess nobody is. Oh, there's Len is from there. And there was this one street in Larkspur that every winter, when it got really rainy, flooded. It was so bad that they had a rowboat on one end of the street. So the people, when they wanted to come home, could grab the rowboat and get home. And I was thinking, all those years, and every year it happened, I would pass by and this street was all underwater. I mean, it wasn't like everything else was underwater, just this street. I think that's because it kind of went down a little bit. And I said to myself, why don't they do something about that? Can't they fill the street up or something like that to prevent it from happening? So, but that was the worst weather we got in Marin County. But sometimes what would happen is in Marin County, there was a thing, highways would get flooded because we were lower than sea level at certain points. And that's where it starts flooding up, because the water runs into it. So anyway. And what's the worst weather you've ever seen, Edward Berger?
We had a big snowstorm once.
Once?
Yeah, well, a couple of times. But
we used to get a lot of snowstorms in New York when I first moved here, and we don't get snowstorms anymore.
No, it's global warming. That's why.
Well, it's something, but I mean, I remember when I first came to New York, I mean, we had 3 big snowstorms every year.
Yeah.
We had school days off because of snow.
Oh, yeah.
But forget it. That's when you were a kid. This is when I was an adult. And I was in New York City. This was in the 1970s. And it was, you get 3, 4 storms. And the snow would be piled up so high. You had mountains of snow on every street corner. And now nothing. I mean, this year, what? I think we got a couple of light snows, and that's it. And
this weekend was supposed to be the start of Derby Festival, and usually on that weekend they have a big fireworks display called Thunder over Louisville. Well, it got canceled because of the rising waters. The Ohio River at the McAlpin Dam is supposed to crest at 36.5 feet above flood stage.
Wow.
It's terrible.
I'm just looking at the historical snowfall from where I used to live in upstate New York. And the last year I was there, 225 inches of snow. That's crazy. But then you look at it over the last 20 years, that was 1977. You look at it and there's nothing even getting close to that. The last 10 years, it's been 30 and 40 and 60 inches. So where did that other 200 inches go?
Yeah.
Well, we have Jeff here. Jeff was raising his hand, and he's probably going to tell us all about snow. And he is living right now in Florida. Anyway,
Now, I'm in Connecticut.
oh, you're back in Connecticut again.
Well, I had to get my injections done, and I also went to a party.
And then it's back.
And
Is
then I
it,
get to go back.
is it then back to Florida?
Yeah, after like less than a week.
Oh, okay.
So, and plus, it's the Jewish party is coming up.
Jewish party? Which Jewish party?
Passover.
Do we look upon Passover as a party?
For us, realistically,
It was an
all the
eating
kids,
party.
all
Yeah.
the family, all shows up, and they all get to eat stuff that they normally don't eat.
It's something they normally don't eat. Oh, okay. Is that the one where we read from the Haggadah?
There.
See, here's the deal. We're going to think Passover is you have a big dinner, and then you read from the Haggadah, which is this, what do we call it? It's not a Bible. It's a
It's a book.
It's a
A
book.
a little pamphlet book.
Oh, a little pamphlet? Have you ever gone through the whole thing? Because I had a very orthodox business manager who every year would have his Passover dinner, and he would invite like 100 people. He had a big table, and tables going everywhere, right? And then he would start doing the service. Well, what's so cruel about Passover is they go, let us pray, blah, 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 blah. And there are all these matzahs and chicken liver sitting around and, I don't know, lamb shank, things like that. And you're getting hungry, and they say, you can take a bite of the matzah. You can't take the whole matzah. You just got to take a bite of it. And then they say, now you can dip it in salt water. Boy, the tears of the Jews. Okay, salt water. This goes on for hours, okay, if you do it right. And you sing all the songs. And the thing is, you're starving to death, and they're like running this little stupid salt water and matzahs and some, what? Eggs and things like that. Nothing that
Hard-boiled eggs.
Hard-boiled eggs. Nothing that will really fill you up. And finally, you get to eat dinner. Finally, like about midnight, So that's Passover. They want us to suffer as much as the Jews did in the desert, I guess.
Does this make any sense to you whatsoever that he's talking about? And does that have any relationship to your experience of a Seder?
Absolutely.
Same thing. See?
Several, not just one, but many.
Right, and you suffer it, right?
My buddy, who was also my attorney at one time, he had everybody in there, and he started talking about that book. He was going on for hours, it seemed like.
My business manager would read every page in the Haggadah, including the ones that were in Hebrew. And finally we got to dinner, And it was a good dinner because he always cooked good dinners, but, it was just
cold.
I was never going to go to one of those again.
It was cold by the time we got to it. Yeah.
Marjorie, you had Seders at your house, didn't you?
Yeah, but way back when. We actually went to my aunt's house.
Well, here's what Marjorie does.
Did she make you suffer?
Every Passover, Marjorie says to me, nobody invited us to a Seder.
Oh.
And I went, well, we're lucky, aren't we? I mean,
It depends on who's running the Seder. I can say that.
Edward, you're Jewish, are you?
Yeah, but we're not really practicing, so we never had a Seder.
Oh, you never had a Seder?
No, our big thing was Thanksgiving. We celebrated Thanksgiving.
I'll tell you the best Seder I ever went to, though, was my ex-wife, Susan. Her father was part of a group called the Jewish Socialist Bund, all right? And they they would have a Seder at their place, but because basically the Bundes were not religious people, it was kind of a, how can I put it? It was more a celebration of deliverance and of freedom. In other words, all the aspects that were very socialistic, okay? And it was really quite interesting because it was amazing what they left out and what they added. And it was really and then you would meet the people that were there, and they'd all been people in like World War II who had been, spies and things like that. They would all tell their stories about how they, got out of Germany and how they brought people out with them and stuff like that. And that was a wonderful night for me at a Seder because it was nothing like I had ever experienced before.
There's a very old Jewish joke that says all the holidays could be summed up in three short sentences. They tried to kill us. We won. Let's eat. Don't tell me you never heard that.
No, I never heard that one.
I love that one.
But that sums it up completely, But I, so that was my favorite time going to a Seder. But it was amazing hearing the stories of these people and how they, how they got out of Germany or how they got out of France. A lot of them fled to Spain because Franco told Hitler he would take 1 million Jews. And so 1 million Jews got to go to Spain and get away from Germany. But Franco said, as soon as you get here, find some other place to go because we can't afford to keep you here. We don't have the wherewithal financially to do it. Who did we lose? Who did we lose? We lost somebody. We lost Marjorie.
Wow.
And our good old Americans wouldn't accept them.
Huh?
The Americans wouldn't allow those people.
Wouldn't allow the Jews in here. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So a lot of them went to Brazil and Argentina.
Well, I knew a family
Africa.
that told me their story. They went to Cuba because if you gave Batista money, he would then make you a citizen of Cuba, and then you could immigrate into the United States. And that's how a lot of Jews got in who had money and could pay off Batista. But the one country that wouldn't take them in was us, right here, the United States.
Plus, we don't like immigrants.
We never have, and yet this is a country that was founded
Roosevelt
by
turned the
immigrants.
boat around.
Huh? Yeah, they turned the boat around here, yeah.
And didn't Roosevelt turn the boat around?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean,
In fact, Anne Frank was on that boat. Anne Frank, who eventually died because she
had to go back. Well, actually, she wasn't in, where was she? She was in Amsterdam, wasn't she?
Amsterdam, yeah, she was in
someplace like that, yeah. But the Germans had invaded Amsterdam. There's a great story. Do you remember this actress? What was her name? She was in a film called Butterfly, and she was a horrible actress. Pia Zadora.
Oh, I was just guessing.
Huh? No, Pia Zadora. You're absolutely right. Pia Zadora, and she finally had a husband who had a lot of money, so she got to do a play on Broadway. And the play they chose to do was The Diary of Anne Frank.
Oh, Lord.
And she played Anne Frank.
Wow.
And she was so bad in the part that when they finally get to one part of it where the Germans come into the house and say, "Where's the girl?" somebody in the audience yelled, "She's upstairs."
How bad was it?
Yeah, how bad was it? She's upstairs. Anyway, so let's see here. So anyway, Len, how's everything out in California with you?
Nice, quiet. Yeah, we're going to be doing a little traveling this week. We're going down to Southern California to a wedding.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
yeah, nothing.
You know what we're
Nothing
doing
super.
this weekend?
No.
Nothing.
Ah, when are you guys going on a cruise or something?
Never.
No, that's a. Geez, how am I going to get you
Well, you
out
know
of
what
there?
it is? Marjorie sent me a list of places to go. I saw one cruise that looked pretty good. It was
Yeah.
a 2 week cruise. You
Okay.
leave Miami, you wind up in Barcelona. In the meantime, you go into Africa and places like that.
Yeah.
It's a really nice boat. And I'm going, okay, this would be good. When is it? Oh, December of 2026.
Yeah.
I'm going, I don't even know if I'm going to be alive by that then. I
I
want
would
to
not
go.
recommend 2 weeks on the ocean. That would
Really?
not be a good idea for you.
Why?
It's very rough, especially that time of year.
Um,
That is not a great idea.
well, don't they
Stay
have
close to home.
really? Well, then, okay, we'll go in the fall. But
Stay.
anyway, it was
Yeah,
2026, and I'm going,
I
because
know.
I looked at it and I went, oh, that looks like a good idea, and blah, 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 blah. And then it's 2026. Are there any boats leaving like a week from now we can get on?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Because we're
Yeah.
in a rush here. We don't know how much time we've got
I'm
left,
I'm gonna I'm gonna book. I'll book something. I'll send it to you.
Oh, okay.
Just show up.
Just don't put us on any ship with kids or Ferris wheels, okay?
Yeah, that. My wife is the same way. She doesn't
Or
want to go anywhere.
theaters.
Well,
Yeah.
we don't need it. We don't need a Broadway show on our ship,
You know, that's why we're going on this river cruise in May in Paris. I am really looking forward to
What
it.
does it go down the Seine?
It does all the way up to Normandy.
Oh,
Where we're
oh.
going, right, Pam?
Yeah,
Normandy?
yeah, all the way up to Normandy and back. So, really looking forward to that.
Who? What cruise line?
It's Viking.
Viking? Yeah.
I'm going on.
It's a
We're
small
going
ship,
on
100,
too.
162 people, no kids, no nothing. It's just a restaurant, a lounge, and your rooms, and an outside area, and that's it.
Is the food good?
I hope so. I haven't been on it
It
yet.
better
So
be if there's only one restaurant.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, some of these places I look at, they go, oh, and we have 10 restaurants to choose from. And I'm going, oh my God,
That's it. It's
How
another
many are
gimmick
good?
to nickel and dime you. The main dining room is great, but then they want 50 or 40, 50, $60 a person to go to these nicer rooms. And it's like, what for?
Yeah.
It
And
doesn't,
most of the food they do in the same kitchen anyway. They just move it
it's
around.
exactly the same kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just came back from
Oh,
use
nice.
my ship card.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? You just came
Yeah.
back? How long were you gone?
It was just a short cruise.
It
It was only a
must have
couple
been
of
because
days.
you were
Yeah,
here
it was.
last week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I told you I was going last week. It was
That's
right
right.
from
That's right.
Tuesday to yesterday
Okay. And you went where?
at the Bermuda, only to Bermuda.
Oh, okay. Okay. And where did you leave from?
From here, New York.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we just want to get on a ship
Yeah.
and go somewhere
Get on a boat and go south toward, the Caribbean and come back. You got, yeah.
but
I'll send you a couple of itineraries.
yeah. I mean, something that leaves out of New York, we just drive down to the
Yeah.
boat, get on it,
Right.
and
Yeah,
Bahamas were great. Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
well, I don't know if I want to Bahamas. I want to go to what's that island? There are two islands down by Antarctica. Where Trump has put a 10% tariff on these two islands that are nothing but no human beings, inhabited entirely by penguins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they've been screwing us over for years.
I don't know if you can see this or not. It says pay the tariffs, and it says we're going to take our business elsewhere.
I sent Marjorie a cartoon of Donald Trump. There's a big thing that says China, right, with a dragon, and then there's the whole United States, and then there's Donald Trump with a cannon. And he says, "Take that, China." and it's cannonballs in the middle of the United States.
Oh,
You know,
Yeah.
boy,
Yeah.
life is fun now. You enjoying it, Vernon?
yeah,
Great week.
yeah.
Well,
It's exhausting. It's exhausting.
are we surprised though? Well, didn't he say this was what he was going to do?
Yep.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Just like I'm not surprised that Ken Paxton got fined $6.6 million because he violated the whistleblower law in Texas, and a federal district judge says he's got to pay these defendants $6.6 million for defaming them.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
What did he say about them?
He fired them for number one, so that was retaliation because they were whistleblowing, which is also against the law.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, he was saying defamatory things about them that weren't true, and they proved it in court. And so now Ken Paxton has to pay $6.6 million.
Ken Paxton's the bad guy in this scenario.
He's the attorney general of
Texas. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
A chief law enforcement officer that was under indictment for years from the federal government. Yeah.
It's not surprising, is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
one of the new representatives from Texas, I forget her name off the top of my head, but you know, she supposedly got in trouble for calling the governor of Texas Governor Hot Wheels.
Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett. Oh, I love her.
She's wonderful. Jasmine Crockett. She's terrific.
People have been calling him, not her, just her. People in Texas have been calling him Governor Hot Wheels for years.
Yeah, but not some really good-looking black lady.
Yeah.
She's
So I
got
want
a
to know which one
she's
of
wonderful.
you has manufacturing experience.
What's this?
Which one of you have had manufacturing jobs in the past? Because we may have to be all doing that pretty soon.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, that's how tariffs work, don't you know, Jeff? You know, you put a tariff on China, and we start making the stuff here automatically.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
So what have you guys physically done?
Well, you know, the thing that's silly about all of this is that it's the notion that they've got nowhere else to go. And this is a world economy now. China doesn't have to do business with us. They can get along very nicely without us. We can't get along nicely without them, however.
Yeah.
We need them.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole world, all the European nations are looking towards China to buy goods and services and things like that. Why not?
Wonder how many Walmarts are going to have to close.
How many
Yeah.
what?
How many Walmarts are going to have to close down because we can't get product from China?
That's right. That's right. Because most of the product came from China, as a matter of fact.
But he says we don't need anything from these other countries. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess not. You know, he's just living. You know, what? He's been a good businessman all these years.
yeah.
You know.
Trump?
Yeah. Come on. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, 2 casinos that failed. How can you have 2 casinos fail?
Right.
Well, because you're Donald Trump and you know how to make them fail. You also know how to burn down buildings and get the insurance money. You know, I mean, that's the way he does business. His idea is, I think he's going to burn down America and then
He's
get the
doing it
insurance
already.
money. Yeah, get the insurance
I
money.
honestly think he's doing it for his legacy. Whether it's bad or good, it doesn't matter. People will be talking about him 100 years from now. You know, I really think that's
Hey,
what he's
listen,
doing.
100 years from now, after he's gone, MSNBC will still be talking about him.
Exactly. And that's what he wants. That's exactly what he wants.
Well, I
His
wish
ego
they'd
is that big.
you know, if they just shut up about him. They just
I
shut
know.
up.
Yeah.
Boy, we're
Right.
getting political here. This is hurting.
Yeah.
But it's the last couple of minutes of the show anyway. So,
Let's justify it. Come on. That's all right.
yeah, you know, but I mean, it's terrible. It's just terrible. Well, this has been a small amount of people here today. We haven't got our usuals in here. I don't know.
Small but spirited.
Huh? Small,
That's
Small
right.
but spirited.
it's quality people,
That's right.
Thank you.
including, of course, our good friend Charlene Solis. Charlene, do I say your last name correctly?
Yes, Solus.
Because
Yeah.
I heard there's a guy on NBC and his name is spelled exactly like yours, and he calls it Solace.
Oh, yeah. It also Solis, which is
Or maybe that's
wow.
what he did,
yeah.
Solis. Yeah.
That's well, that would it be? It's Americanized as Solus. Otherwise,
okay.
it would be Solis. Yeah.
All right. Well, just want to make sure I was pronouncing your name
Yep.
correctly.
You are.
I don't want to be a bad guy here.
But how does Marjorie pronounce the governor of Pennsylvania?
Well,
Shapiro.
let's not get into that.
Oh no.
Paula and I are both from Philadelphia. Paula, how do we say Shapiro?
Shapiro.
I trust my kids.
Because we knew somebody that was.
Okay.
I should add that I pronounce my name Levin, not Levin,
Okay.
Okay. But
because Philadelphia it's Levin, but New York.
over in the
it's not.
corner here, I have a big metal object which heat comes up through. What do you call it?
We call it a radiator. Isn't that right, Marjorie?
Oh,
No, that's not what Marjorie calls it. Marjorie,
I
what do
called
you
it a
call it?
radiator.
Ratty.
And I keep telling her, no. And she says, well, it is radiator. And I go, Marjorie, what does that particular object do? It radiates heat. Therefore,
your
it's
trouble
a
is
radiator.
your trouble is you have a bad attitude.
Yeah, Mr. Benet,
Close up.
Alex Benet.
Alex Bennett.
Alex Bennett.
Anyway, thank you, Charlene, for being with us. Appreciate it. Vernon, always good. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Boy, did
No.
Oh, no, don't tell me.
Here, watch this. Watch
It's
this.
201.
Hey, I gotta go. Folks.
Oh, no.
Hold on a second. Don, the show was supposed to be over 2 minutes ago.
I'm still on Eastern Standard Time. I have a friend. His
Yeah.
name is Ted Shapiro.
Okay.
Thank you.
But he
Okay.
chooses to pronounce it Shapiro, right?
Well, as other people choose to call themselves Shapiro.
And that's exactly what the governor of Pennsylvania calls himself.
Right. But one is not wrong from the other.
Thank you, Don Geiler.
Three L's.
Huh?
Tomato, tomato. Hey.
Anyway, well,
Jesus.
good of you to join us here, Don.
Well, I figured
If you
need
called
the
any
levity.
later, we would have been off.
Yeah.
I'll try again next week.
Yeah. And also thanks to Vernon Nunn, and thanks to Len LaFrisco and Paula Levin.
Levin.
Levin?
Levin.
Is it Levin?
Uh-huh.
And I've been called Levin, and you've never called me on it.
Well, it's not important. It's
But
the
she
same.
likes the Paula 12 joke. That's why.
Oh, I see.
I would mess that up. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but you see, if it's Paul Levin, I can't do that. Well, Marjorie left now.
Oh, boy.
Well, thank you, Marjorie, for being on the show. I think she could hear me.
No.
She's headed to fix dinner.
Who else is?
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie, goodbye. Thank you. Thank you, Jeffrey Stein. And of course, Don Giller, thanks. You've given us a lot of inspiration today and a lot of good old stories you've had to tell. We've really enjoyed your participation here, Don.
It's Giller.
Anyway, everybody, thank you so much. We'll see you again next week, and hopefully there'll be
Uh-oh.
more people
Wait.
here next week. Bye, everybody.
No.
Oh, I know. I always forget because I go through everybody. And
Edward.
here's Edward Berger to sign us off by saying,
That's all, folks.
there
There
you
you
go.
go.
Thanks,
All right.
everybody. Bye.
Thanks, Alex.